When I actually get a boyfriend, that man is never gonna know peace, because all of the TikTok trends that I see all of you happy couples doing, we're gonna do every single one, like literally 5 a day. And also, like, I never get to annoy a man. Like, I only have sisters, I can only annoy them. So like, when I'm bored, trust me when I say that I'm gonna think of anything and everything to annoy that man. In like a funny way, but he's gonna be so annoyed. Oh my gosh. That man needs to be preparing right now, okay? I pray for him every day.
No.
So in other words, you're just gonna stay single, huh? I mean, there's no real sense in mincing words here. You've already made it clear that you care more about your social media image and your fifis over the wants and needs of a guy who's going to have the IQ of your typical koala just to think you'd make a good girlfriend. And I don't know if you ever realized this, but men don't exactly cotton to women who make it their mission to destroy his peace in the name of TikTok trends and a deeply rooted resentment towards men who refuse to let you annoy them. There's nothing really cute or funny about it. It's just kind of annoying. So if that man's preparing for anything, it's to avoid you the same way he avoids Karens at the parking lot. And trust me, sister, we've grown to become samurai masters at avoiding broads like you.
Let's do this.
Tyler, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. We're choosing to be single. We are. We live it here. You know, 52% of American women adult American women are single. 52%, that is crazy. And it is not because we cannot find you. You guys are literally in our DMs every single day, constantly chasing us and harassing us. It's not because we can't find you, okay? It's because we don't want you. There's actually so much research as to why women are just choosing to be single these days. Like, I mean, I could go into a whole docuseries about this, but women used to have men for financial security and shelter and protection and even basic rights. And then men went left and started making us have our own careers, raise the children essentially by ourselves, take care of the household alone, leave our feminine energy behind. We can't even get a dinner. We have to split it 50-50. So essentially you want us to be the man, but you also want us to like be your mom, your maid, your emotional caregiver, and put out for you. I'm okay, Tyler. It's no longer an insult for a woman to be single. And the reason y'all don't like standards is because that means you'll have to level up.
What would you say you do here?
Alright, hang on, I'm kinda confused here. You say that men are these evil domineering creatures who forced you into the home to cook, to clean, and to raise children. You say that women were oppressed because you couldn't own a canoe until 1893. Alright, well I got that part, but then you turn around and say that it's also our fault because we forced you to go into the workplace to earn your own money so you could pay your own bills? Which one is it, you dim-witted broad? Because it can't be both. Modern women have been bragging about paying their own bills as if they deserve a medal for doing the basic tasks that most dudes can do by their 14th birthdays, and then you say it's our fault that you hate your life? Woman, your kind literally demanded this, and it was given to you on a silver freaking platter. It's not our fault that you're so inept that you can't get a guy in your life, and even if you did, it would still be oppression anyway. You can't cook, you won't clean, and every single duty you'd have to a significant other goes right out the freaking window, which means that you feel entitled to a man, while also reserving the right to resent that man for no reason, which just proves why you're not single by choice. That decision was made for you because of your pure stupidity and arrogance.
Your intellect is as weak as your dollar. Failure is your destiny. You disrespect yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid.
Men are so annoying because tell me why this guy was like, I want to go out with you, let's hang out, please come over, let's do this, let's hang out. And then I didn't give him the time of day for like 5 days because I wasn't interested. And then I was like, you know what, fine. I'll bite. I will bite. I think we should just be friends. How does that work? I don't understand that. Why do I only want men when they want me? Why do I only want men when they don't want me, but when they want me, I'm like, get the fuck away from me. Like, I don't want you around me. How does that work? It's really starting to piss me off. I'm sure it's avoidant attachment, but like, I'm not ready to accept that. So we're gonna have to find a different explanation that works for me right now in my current life, in my current state of mind. But can I get some men in the chat to drop the lore of like what the fuck that's supposed to mean? Because like, it could very much be my insufferable personality, but I just don't think that's right. That's the answer. It's that.
Wow, that's fantastic work, man. You have the wisdom of a 6,000 or 7,000-year-old man. That's fantastic. We don't have to fill up the whole blackboard after all.
Well, the reason for that is fairly simple, darling. You're damaged. And not only are you damaged, you're damaged to the point of worthlessness. You want the dudes who treat you like crap because they're the only ones who can make you feel anything. And dudes who legitimately like you turn you off because they'll give you everything you want, no questions asked, and that's too boring for the likes of you. You need chaos and you need to chase after the men who want nothing to do with you. And it's left you so messed up that you'd rather sabotage your own love life than be with a guy who'd make your life better. That's why the good men get friend zoned, and they have to wait no less than 9 months for an opportunity to play with your slopped up doom pit of diseased hellfire. But the bad boys who don't give two craps about you get a front row seat to that particular disaster area. And your attitude, fleeting looks, and your inability to string together a simple sentence without some profanity isn't helping your case either, sister. There's no point in wasting time on a woman who thinks breathing makes her the ideal companion for a simp.
Wish I could stay, but I got a thing. Bye.
It's not the first time that this man has humiliated me, and if you guys saw our whole text exchange, you would have told me to stop talking to him so long ago. He's great in bed, but he's terrible over text, and he's terrible at making plans. I know what everyone would say if I shared everything, so that's why I don't. Because, like, I know. I was obviously drunk last night, so you got a little sneak peek at his texts. Definitely not going to text him again for a while. I have this theory, though, that men hate horny women because they just love the chase. And like, obviously I wasn't giving him that, but this is definitely my sign to try and get a roster. I'll say though, I'm back on Hinge, I'm on Raya, I'm on everything. And the quality of men out there is so bad. I'm gonna try to meet people in person, like at bars and stuff. I have to learn to apparently not be mean to boys, because that's my fatal flaw, is like I just get into fights with boys pretty quickly after speaking to them. Linguini has historically not been the best over text, but in person he's fine. From a casual relationship, is that really so bad? I guess like mutual respect would be nice, but it's slim pickings out here.
Look, this is a load of crap. The only reason you're here is because I'm hard and you're easy, but you're not worth all this bull.
Hey woman, the reason why this guy doesn't text very well is because he really doesn't have to. I mean, why in the hell should he? He could pretty much send you a bunch of gibberish words and you'll show up to his apartment without any underwear on to save some time. Guys like that don't hate horned up women. It just makes things easier for him in the short term, but long term, yeah, he's gonna get bored with you rather quickly. And your solution is just to give him the silent treatment as you go on the dating apps to find even more men to do the same job. But the funny part is you can't even do that, and that's because you're aged out of the dating market, sister. You're mid, you're used up, and you think overproofed rum is a food group. And that's not exactly what Chad would call worthy of being in his harem. I mean, you might find a few Chads who wouldn't mind a little home delivery, if you know what I mean, but that's the best you could ever hope for. And there's no mutual respect to be had in that department. I mean, how can a guy respect a woman who thinks the best way to get back at him is just to pork a whole bunch of other dudes?
Good, but I would say it's horrible yet terrible. Ugly yet disgusting. You suck.
I think we talk enough about how we were essentially forced to choose our career paths before our frontal lobes even developed. 17 or 18 years old, you graduate from high school, then you go to college, pick your major. Maybe you change your major once or twice. Every time you change your major, you have to take classes for the new major. It puts you a little bit behind. And then say you do graduate in 4 years, you decide you want to do something else, but you already have your degree for this. It's debilitating. After college, I went to radiology school, worked in that field for a couple years, and got into medical sales, and now I'm in content creation and social media management. It's completely normal to grow out of the career that you thought you wanted at age 18. I'm 30 next month, and I have no idea where I'll end up, but so that's okay.
Nowhere! Where you going? Nowhere!
Alright, let me see if I can get this straight. By the time you graduate high school, your frontal lobe is developed enough to be able to drive a car, join the military, buy cigarettes, get a job, and legally consent to porking dudes, but it's not developed enough to find out what you want to do with your life? Alright, well, that doesn't make any sense. You're the one who bought into the idea that you have to have a career, and then you borrow catastrophic amounts of money to go to a school that encourages degenerate behavior, provides you with zero practical education, and then you blame society as you end up changing your career 3 times anyways. I mean, nobody told you to do that. And here you sit at the age of 30 doing social media management, whatever the hell that is, and you have no idea what you want to do with your life, which is kind of messed up because even 5 years after your brain is apparently fully developed, you still have no idea what you even want. And the best part is, no matter what you choose, it's not going to matter anyway. It won't leave you feeling satisfied. It'll just make you feel even more lost because you completely botched up your life by constantly changing your careers. You done screwed up, woman, and now you're gonna spend the rest of your life lost in those freaking woods. Hope it was worth it.
Botched, I botched that one. Oh, that's a botched job.
65% of male murder victims are murdered by a stranger, and over 50% of female murder victims are murdered by their male partner. By now, I think you guys know I'm addicted to being a comment warrior with men in not just my comments, but like any woman's comments. Okay, that has expanded to Instagram. This guy commented on a video where this woman was breaking down a study that found that women who earn twice as more as their male spouse still do more of the domestic labor and more housework than women who earn significantly less or the same as their male partner. And they also found that this dynamic and this inequity only exists in heterosexual relationships where the woman out-earns the man. Every other dynamic, the household chores are either proportional to who brings in more money or equal.
You have had the frontal lobe of your brain removed and replaced with bubble wrap.
So in other words, you waste your time scrolling through Instagram to start up arguments with people who disagree with you. I mean, that's all you're really doing. You're not changing the world when you do this. All you're doing is just proving us right. This whole domestic labor crap is for the birds. I mean, let's just set a scene here. A woman settles for a guy who makes less than her, but he's gonna try to pull his weight, bring in some money, maybe he does the cooking and the cleaning, and trying to do his part to make the relationship work. The woman who brings in more money is going to resent him for it no matter what. So no matter what he does, he either does it wrong at the wrong time or some other absurd reason. He's then accused of weaponizing his incompetence and is left completely broken as she insists on being a martyr by doing everything herself. Then she bitches about how she does everything, even when the man tries his best, which just proves that a modern woman will only be satisfied with a man who makes more than her, which is impossible because the men who make more than her aren't interested in settling. And anytime a man brings this up, you bring up murder statistics as if that's somehow supposed to prove a point. But all that proves is that the only thing you bring to the table is your professional victim status.
Okay, and then somebody commented on that video, a guy commented, "Yeah, well, I'm still the one who has to die defending you if someone breaks into our house." What? So I said, "Bro, why are you out here writing fanfic?" He comments back, "I'm not writing fanfic, this really happens." But I was like, you know, men don't believe me, so let me pull up some statistics. I think I see where he's getting this idea. So men, 40% of female homicide victims were killed by a boyfriend, girlfriend, or spouse. Less than 10% of women were killed by strangers. On the flip side, 65% of male murder victims are killed by strangers. Murders committed by strangers are more likely to occur in conjunction with other felonies, robberies, burglaries, whatever. When men worry about getting murdered, they have this idea, this like extravagant narrative of somebody trying to do a home invasion and them trying to like protect their family or protect their house and getting killed in the struggle. The most common way a woman will die if she's murdered is by an intimate partner.
I must have missed 60 minutes. What are you saying?
You know what? I got nothing. I honestly have no idea what you're trying to say here, sweetheart. You see, you and your kind are constantly prattling on and on about how you expect us to be the protectors, but in the same sentence, you also say that we're still more dangerous than bears. You've been saying that men are violent, but it's still our job to protect you. But even if we do protect you, we do it in the wrong way. So what exactly do you want from us? Because you're the type of woman who will say that she won't feel safe until murder is abolished from the planet. And even then, then you'll just go after dudes who breathe too loudly for some such nonsense. The guy brings up a perfectly valid point that men are expected to put their lives on the line to protect their families, and you say that doesn't count because of some out-of-context statistics. And at no point are you even proposing a solution. You just want to bitch and moan about how unsafe you feel. But that's a two-way street, sister. You can't blame us for your lack of situational awareness. You actually have to take some responsibility for the men you let into your life instead of blaming us for your stupidity and your lack of personal safety.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby! Don't you put that on us!
I was hanging out with my single guy friend at Echo Park Rising this weekend, and I was shocked at some of the details that he was telling me about what it's like to be a single guy on the dating apps, but also some of the things that he's doing as well that I feel like he is really setting himself apart from the other guys on the app. First off, this man showed me some of his messages, and sometimes he is doubling down, tripling down, sending 5 or 6 messages before he even gets a response from the women. And I'm surprised by that because I don't know why these women are not responding to the men. Like, that he's clearly creating conversation here. He's asking questions. He's funny. He's charming. Are the girls just bored? Like, I don't understand. Maybe they just are not trying to invest time in it. We also had to cut our hangout short that day because he had a date that night, a first date that he was taking to Etra.
Boy, there's no real easy way to say this, but, look, you're a simp.
Well, that's exactly what he's doing wrong. The guy is sounding desperate and is leading with his wallet. Doesn't matter how charming or funny or nice he is, all of those things mean nothing to the broads on the dating apps. I mean, yeah, they'll accept a dinner date to a trendy restaurant and gladly let him pay the bill, but that's because she's hungry and he's an idiot. Modern women know the score. He's not the man they want, but they'll gladly settle for him once they realize they're not going to do any better. Because for all of the qualities that he lacks, he's still way too generous with his money, and he is also a huge pushover, which means an easy payday for a few years and a hefty divorce settlement after she pops out a few kids on his dime. This guy is doing everything wrong, from the way he plans these dates to the fact that he's using a dating app, and you're acting shocked because you want this guy to remain single. There's no way you can be blind to the state of modern dating when you're clearly single to the point where you're taking time out of your day to listen to a dude complain about dating.
So I asked him, are you going on these dates to Etra all the time? And he said, I've taken about 3 or 4 dates to Etra on a first date. And I said, don't you feel like you're investing a lot here? I know this argument from the guy's standpoint. They're like, why would I dish out for dinner when that is so expensive and I don't actually know what is going to come out of this? Like, don't I want to just do a vibe check first? And here's what his response was. He said to me, Katie, sometimes you got to take the big swing. Some context here. He is an executive at a tech company and he has a really well-paid job. He's like, if I go to drinks and it is 2 drinks each or something, that's maybe what, $100, close to $100. What's an extra $40 or $60 for dinner? Fair.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
How is that even remotely fair? Why should a dude have to spend $100 on drinks with a woman who's clearly not interested in him? I mean, there's nothing fair about that. If a woman is genuinely interested in a guy, she'll gladly shell out $7 of her own money for a cup of coffee to see if he's a good guy. Taking the big swing is one of the dumbest things that you can do. And this guy clearly hasn't learned his lesson because he's done it 4 times with the same end result. These grand gestures don't work because not only do modern women expect them, but because when he does them, he's going to be accused of doing the bare minimum and won't be owed so much as a peck on the cheek. And when you consider that this guy is a tech executive, it really does prove that even if the dude has money, there's still very little chance that he's gonna find anybody of any substance out there. And let's be real here. Even if he does meet a nice woman and things get serious, you're gonna find endless excuses to hate this woman and convince him to leave her. He's in your friend zone, and him escaping by getting a girlfriend is the last thing you want. So of course you're going to encourage this simp behavior. It's the only way you're going to be able to get relationship treatment without having to put out. And if you ever want to see the finest examples of junk drawer craft, all you gotta do is look to the fine members of the Bounty Board over on Patreon and they'll show you what's up. Because a junk drawer is a lot like these fine folks. One-of-a-kind masterpieces, every single one of them. All hail And if you're interested in supporting the channel, check out the bounty board over on Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content you're not going to find on YouTube. Links in the pinned comment down below if you want to check it out. And that's going to do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.